You know that feeling when you are putting in maximum effort but seeing zero results? It's like going to the gym every single day for 3 months, eating nothing but chicken and broccoli, looking in the mirror, and looking exactly the same. That is exactly what building wealth feels like at the beginning. Most financial gurus will sell you the dream of the finish line. They show you the beach house, the dividends flowing in, the early retirement. But they conveniently skip over the most painful part of the journey, the start. The truth is, there is a specific zone in wealth building where 90% of people quit. It's a zone where the math seems broken, where your savings feel insignificant, and where the goal feels impossibly far away. The late legendary investor Charlie Munger had a famous quote about this. He didn't mince words. He said, "The first $100,000 is a beast, but you gotta do it. I don't care what you have to do, if it means walking everywhere and not eating anything that wasn't purchased with a coupon. Find a way to get your hands on that first $100,000. Why was he so aggressive about this specific number? Because Charlie knew the math that most people ignore. He knew that 100,000 euros is the escape velocity point. Before this number, gravity is pulling you down. After this number, gravity starts working for you. Today, we are going to break down exactly why the first 100,000 is so brutally hard, the psychological trap that makes people fail, and most importantly, how you can cheat the timeline to get there faster. To understand why this is so hard, we have to look at how our brains are wired versus how money works. Human beings are linear thinkers. If you walk for 1 hour, you travel 5 kilometers. If you walk for 2 hours, you travel 10 kilometers. Input equals output. But money is exponential, and this creates a massive conflict in your brain during the early years. Let's run the numbers. Let's say you are a diligent saver. You manage to scrape together $10,000. You invest it in the market with a standard 7% return. At the end of the year, you've made $700. $700. That's nice, but it's not life-changing. It's barely a new iPhone. You can't retire on that. You can't even pay rent with that. So your brain says, why am I sacrificing so much? Why am I skipping dinners out? Why am I driving this old car just for $700? This is what I call the heavy lifting phase. In the beginning, you are the engine. Your money is just a passenger. If you want your portfolio to grow by $10,000 in the early days, you have to save $9,300 of it from your salary. The market only chips in $700. You are doing 93% of the work. This dynamic continues for years, and this is where the valley of disappointment kicks in. You expect your money to start working for you immediately, but for the first 5 to 7 years, it barely lifts a finger. You are pouring water into a bucket, but the bucket feels like it has a hole in it. But, and this is a big but, you are building the foundation for the explosion. Have you ever heard the story of the Chinese bamboo tree? It's the perfect metaphor for your first $100,000. When you plant the seed, you have to water it and fertilize it every single day. Year 1, nothing breaks the ground. Year 2, still nothing. Year 3, absolutely nothing visible. Year 4, still just dirt. Most people would quit here. They would stop watering. They would assume the seed is dead. But in the 5th year, the tree suddenly shoots up 25 meters in just 6 weeks. Did it grow 25 meters in 6 weeks? No. It grew 25 meters in 5 years. For 4 years, it was building a massive root system underground that nobody could see. Your first 100,000 is that root system. Now, let's look at what happens when you finally hit that 100,000 mark. This is where the magic happens. At 100K, a 7% return generates $7,000 a year. That's nearly $600 a month. Think about how hard you have to work to save $600 a month from your paycheck. You have to wake up, commute, work 40 hours, pay taxes, pay rent, buy food, and then try to keep that $600. Suddenly, your portfolio is generating that same amount without you waking up. This is the crossover point. This is when the baby in the back seat finally gets out and starts pushing the car with you. We've talked about the math, but we need to talk about the psychology, because better money mindset isn't just about spreadsheets, it's about how you sleep at night. Before 100,000, you are fragile. A lost job is a catastrophe. A car breakdown is a crisis. You operate in scarcity mode. Your brain is constantly scanning for threats. But once you have that six-figure buffer, your brain physically changes. You switch to opportunity mode. In the financial world, we call this walk-away money. Having enough cash to literally walk away from any situation. $100,000 isn't full retire on a yacht money yet, but it gives you the power of no. It means if your boss is toxic, you don't have to take it. You have 2, 3, maybe 4 years of expenses saved up. You walk into negotiations differently. You take career risks differently. Paradoxically, people with savings often make more money in their careers because they aren't afraid to ask for it. They project confidence, not desperation. The first $100,000 buys you your freedom of choice. So, we know it takes about 7 to 11 years for the average person to hit this first milestone. That's a long time to wait. How do we speed this up? How do we compress a decade into 5 years? There are only 2 levers you can pull, and one is much more powerful than the other. Most people focus on cutting coupons. That's defense. Defense is important, but offense wins championships. To hit 100,000 fast, you need to widen the gap. The gap is the difference between your income and your expenses. Avoid lifestyle creep like the plague. When you get a raise, I repeat, do not move into a better apartment. Do not buy the new car. Pretend you didn't get the raise. Throw 100% of that new money into the gap. The best investment you can make during the grind phase isn't actually the S&P 500, it's yourself. Increasing your primary income by $500 a month will get you to $100,000 faster than a 1% better return on your stocks ever will. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. The journey from 0 to 100,000 is going to test you. It's going to be boring. It's going to be frustrating. And there will be days you want to cash it all out and buy a Tesla. But remember the airplane analogy. A plane uses 40% of its fuel just to get off the ground. It fights drag, friction, and gravity, but once it reaches cruising altitude, it glides. Your first 100,000 is the takeoff. It requires maximum fuel, but once you break through those clouds, you get to glide. Keep pushing, keep grinding. The math is on your side, even if you can't see it yet. So, the choice is yours. You can quit while it's just dirt, or you can keep watering. If you're committed to building that massive root system underground, smash that like button. It actually helps the algorithm find other people who need to hear this. I'm curious, which phase are you in right now? Are you still fighting gravity in the grind phase, or have you finally hit escape velocity? Let me know in the comments below.